Today we're going to be talking about Cody Ko, which I'm sure if you've been on the internet at some point, you've probably seen videos being made about him. You've probably seen all the news that's going on about him. But just in case, if you have no idea what's going on, it is alleged that Cody hooked up with a 17-year-old at a party when he was 25 years old. And this is something that's been spreading around on the internet for around 3 years. And anytime it's been brought up within Cody's community, it's been heavily moderated. And a bigger YouTuber has made a video about this, calling out Cody in hopes to force him to make a response to this, because this has been going on for a little over 3 years and there still hasn't been a response from Cody. Much like I'm Alex treats all of his situations, just doesn't respond, sweeps it under the rug and acts like there's no big deal. And people are saying that by Cody not responding to this situation, that it's making him look really, really guilty. Cody Ko is a very large YouTuber with over 6 million subscribers. He has multiple channels that are also over 1 million. And his last video that he uploaded was 4 days ago, which is exactly when D'Angelo Wallace posted his video about Cody. And the person that came forward that said that Cody did these things to her is Tana. Tana is known for having a lot of controversies. She even has a podcast called Canceled with Tana and Brooke. And when she started talking about the things that happened between her and Cody, a lot of people didn't believe her because the type of content she makes, the controversies she's been in, and just the way she's branded her channel and herself overall, which sucks to be in a situation like that, because when there's no proof of it, like she didn't have any recording, or maybe she has text messages of it, I don't know, but it's difficult for victims to come out and talk about stuff like that because they feel like no one's going to believe them anyway, so what's the point? No, I'm not saying that Cody did this, but there are some patterns in here that raise some alarms, and the fact that Cody hasn't said anything about it is, well, worrisome. Tana has mentioned this multiple times, sprinkling this information throughout her shows, her podcasts she's been on, just lightly touching on it here and there, acting like it's not a big deal. But when you get older and you have time to reflect on what actually happened, it hits you. Tana was doing a live show and they weren't supposed to be recording there, but somebody was, and she said this on that live show.
What's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, did no one look at me? Cody Ko. Delete the videos. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that. What? Sorry.
So in that video, she was asked who's the smallest D that you ever had sex with, and she said Cody Ko, where she then responds with, I was 17 at the time. By the way, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this situation. And also, if you haven't yet, please go follow me over on Instagram at Chaz A. Kirschman. I'm getting close to 5,000 followers. I post pictures of my photography, my life, my cats, anything that I just find interesting on here. And my DMs are always open over there if you want to suggest a topic to me. And this wouldn't be the only time she would make that reference. There was a time when Tana and Cody was collaborating, and she would edit this video in a way that it was making fun of the size of his junk.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, I can barely see myself. I'm like really small, I'm like really small, I'm like really small, I'm like really small. But I'm still so like compelled by myself on that screen.
So that was Tana's editing there, and she was referencing to his really small junk.
But I guess that means that's just me, right? She knows a whole bunch of slang and cool words because she's, you know, a teen, whatever. So I'm here basically just to learn some teen slang, right? So do you want to...
Yeah, I'd love to look at a photographer.
Yeah.
One time Cody met a fan and I convinced the fan that I was his personal photographer.
Yeah.
Actually, that didn't happen because we never hang out. That was a lie. I do.
We've never met before, and...
Yeah. This is scripted.
This is scripted.
So there's a couple things in this video that Punk Sailor Moon points out, and I'm not sure if this is their original video that they did these captions, but they point out that she remembers that they aren't supposed to be hanging out. So I guess that's why she changed her sentence there, because she remembered that they weren't supposed to be hanging out because she's 17. And I find it weird that he was collaborating with a 17-year-old, hanging out with a 17-year-old. Like, what is up with these YouTubers hanging out with 17-year-olds, young people? It's just so creepy and weird. I wouldn't even be doing this in the first place. And there's this weird tension throughout the whole thing, like they're trying really hard to monitor what they're saying. Like you can feel something is going on in that room. And this is a minute detail, but watch how close their legs get together. It looks like they're almost brushing together.
I'd love to look at a photographer.
Yeah.
One time Cody met a fan and I convinced the fan that I was his personal photographer.
Yeah.
Actually, that didn't happen because we never hang out. That was a lie. I didn't.
We never.
And throughout this little collab thing, he's bringing up the word teen a lot and kind of brushing it off like whatever, but it's weird that he keeps bringing it up. He's like, teen, whatever, teen, teen, teen. Oh, and don't forget the way he looks at her when she gets up. It's so weird.
All right, so. All right,
His eyes are following her butt the whole time, and then he has a little giggle after.
so a response video, and
You're so funny. Like, no one's ever heard
oh my god,
comedian.
you're gonna have to do a response video to this. Trust me. Ow.
That's crazy, the foreshadow there. I guess that explains why he was practicing the ukulele apology before it was even a thing. This man can see into the future. And then anytime you go back and watch any of the interactions they ever had, you can't help but watch them and feel how awkward it is.
So do you know what famous birthdays is?
Yeah.
One of the no, there's only one fact about me.
Okay.
And it's like she has collaborated with Cody Ko. That's the only fact. And then you click your link and it's like fire. And it's well known for hashtag like all this shit. And mine's just like, oh, she's collaborated with Cody Ko.
That's a great little tidbit, though. I mean, what else significant is there to say about you
No, yeah.
besides the fact that you've collabed with me?
No, yeah.
Nothing, right?
No, no. Yeah,
never good.
that's a peak of my career.
So then why was that shocking at all?
I just wanted you to know.
Okay. Thanks. Can we move on with those?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tana's been on Trisha Paytas's podcast multiple times, going as far back as 2 years ago, where she actually brought up this situation. And YouTuber Repzilla actually made a video about this video called Gabby Hannah Tried to Sell Tana's Trauma.
During the podcast, Trisha Paytas and Tana bonded over their mutual dislike of Gabby Hannah, but then the conversation turned to a pretty strange point where Tana said that there was one person during this show that was older than her. At the time, she was about 17 years old, and this person was much older and made advances towards Tana that were inappropriate.
I don't know if I was 17 or 18. I was like on the brink, but I was at a playlist live and they were like trying to with me. And it's something I never even like thought of again. You know what I mean? It was just like, and obviously it was like an older guy and whatever, but I mean, we're friends now. And like, obviously I'm not saying I should, it's right. It's not right. It's entire, but I don't know if I was 17 or 18. And I don't know if anything so bad ever happened to where it's like condemning them. It was more just like a flirty weird encounter or whatever. And a couple weeks ago, I got a call from, should I say it?
Are they doing an article?
That Gabby Hannah was trying to sell to them that this YouTuber like with me when I was like underage and then it was up and I was like, what if this was my trauma?
And then there's this tweet that Keemstar made saying, Cody Ko, statutory of Tana. This is what I know. Years ago, Gabby Hannah told me in an off-record statement that a 25-year-old Cody Ko was kissing a 17-year-old Tana at Playlist Live in Florida. The age of consent in Florida is 18. Anyone 24 or older hooking up with a 16, 17-year-old is statutory. Gabby told me she pulled Cody Ko aside to inform him Tana was 17, and Cody Ko said thank you for the warning to Gabby. Gabby said later that night, Cody Ko had sex with Tana, even though she warned him. So could this be the person that Gabby was trying to sell the story to? And then what I think really brought all of this more so to the surface was that Tana went on her podcast and talked about the situation a little bit more. And the fact that she kept bringing it up over the past few years, with her being consistent in her story and talking about how it really affected her because she had time to reflect on this. I think that helped shed some more light on the situation and the seriousness and how it really made Tana feel.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened. And I think that, first of all, I'm trying to think about it from a perspective of like a younger sister or someone that I really care about. Even the other day, like I was texting just about her life and everything that's going on in her life right now. And I thought to myself, like, how protective I was over her, especially before she was 18. And if something like that was happening to her, I would never let it fly. Well, you know what I mean?
It's honestly fucking disgusting. And I also think when you're that age, you think you know everything and you think you're way more mature than you actually are. Mm-hmm. And then from our age now, we can look at it in hindsight's 2020 and it's like, oh my God, you were a child.
Yes.
You were young.
To be 100% truthful, when I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabby Hannah at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. And I can look at that and be like, what were you doing that?
Tana's been talking about this for years, as well as Gabby. And Tana goes on her podcast to get it all out there, because I can only imagine it can be very hard to carry trauma like that, especially when no one's believing you. But luckily, there was a video of Gabby Hannah talking about the situation years ago as well. In fact, it's one of D'Angelo's main points in his video.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. And I understand why. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. The original has been lost to time, and it's a wonder we have this on video at all. But if there was anything to give me any more clarity about these allegations before I formed my opinion, I was going to find it. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hannah tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he heard that.
This brings me back to Repzilla's video. A huge shout out to him, because that clip that was used in D'Angelo's video actually came from his video. And without that, I don't think this would be coming to light right now.
But I did find a clip of Gabby Hannah talking in her podcast about a situation that sounds very, very similar.
Dude, one time I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he heard that.
And also kudos to D'Angelo for piecing all of that together. And like I said, Cody's been trying to sweep all of this under the rug and just ignore everything that's been happening. There's been tweets of people releasing DMs they've sent to Cody Ko talking about the situation going back all the way to 2021, wanting him to address this. And then there's the Reddit moderators that are deleting any mention of the situation, as well as his Wikipedia page that has been locked. But it does seem like the moderation has slowed down some on his YouTube channel. There might just be too many people commenting all about this stuff now for him to moderate it. But people saying like better invest in the ukulele. Safe to assume Cody was on Drake's side during the Kendrick beef. YouTubers trying to not be P words challenge impossible. Why man, why? We lost another one, boys. Imagine Gabby Hannah being the hero in your story. Bro, Gabby Hannah was trying to save you. And some people think he's never going to respond to these allegations because he is trying to gain his citizenship. TikToker Satisfactory Vibes had this to say, and I found it interesting to share with you.
Cody Ko still hasn't taken accountability for what he did to Tana. He's not going to, we all know that. And from what I know, Tana isn't going to press charges, so why stay silent? I've been thinking about this, and if his lawyers are telling him not to engage, which I think is true, I think it's because Cody Ko is still in the process of becoming a US citizen. I think he's avoiding making a statement because even though he's under public scrutiny already, any wrong move he makes could jeopardize his residency status. And honestly, I really doubt he's ever going to say anything because he is a public figure and has to maintain public appeal, but that's not really working out for him. It's super disappointing, but honestly, it's super disappointing that like it happened at all.
But I'm curious what you think about this whole situation. Do you think that Cody is going to make a response to this? Or do you think he's just going to try to sweep this one under the rug? Personally, I think if he made a response to this, it would help him out a lot, especially if he's innocent. But we'll just have to wait and see. And if there's any more updates on this, I'll be sure to inform everybody here on this channel. I hope that I informed you in some way. Thank you for watching. Shout out to my Patreons. Thank you for being a Patreon. Thank you for all the support. And I'll see you in the next video.